Vegan recipes with Pat and Emily.
Everyone, thanks for joining us today on It's Vegan. Me and my mom Patty are going to share a recipe that we veganized recently.
And that recipe is for an orange poke cake.
Instead of using Jell-O, of course, we're going to use some Agar, and I'm going to toss it over to Patty to start with the cake.
I'm going to start with a cake mix, and I was following the recipe pretty much that Gretchen's Bakery uses. So I do want to give Gretchen credit for that. It makes a delicious cake. We're going to get started now. I'll start putting it together and you can see what the batter looks like. Gretchen's Vegan Bakery starts with a cake mix. I'm using a white.
Most cake mixes are vegan until you add what they want you to add, correct?
That's correct. Next, she adds an extra cup of flour and a little bit of baking powder. Incorporate those ingredients together. Next, she uses a cup of water. But what I did was, since we'll be using mandarin oranges later, I drained the liquid off of the mandarin oranges. These oranges actually are in 100% juice, but I don't know what kind of juice. Next, I'm using 2/3 cup of soy milk. Gretchen recommends the soy milk. I'm using 6 tablespoons of just egg substitute. You might have seen a few little lumps in there. And oil, because I freeze my soy milk and just egg in 2 tablespoons portions. We're going to mix it according to the instructions until it gets nice and smooth. That'll take about 2 minutes.
You're going to want to stop and scrape down the sides of your bowl in between mixing to make sure you get all the lumps out.
We will come back after it's mixed up. The cake batter is finished. I'm using a 9x13 pan and I'm spraying the bottom. I'm not spraying the sides of it because I want the sides to help hold the cake and hold the structure of the cake. I don't think that I mentioned that I was specifically using soy milk because of the fat content. However, you could use any of the other plant-based milks that you like, but I think you will get a better result from soy milk in this case. And just smooth it out. With that extra flour, you're going to get a fuller cake. And I've noticed, like all of the cake mixes, brownie mixes, they seem to be decreasing the quantity in them. So this will give you a nice full cake. We will be putting it in the oven at 350.
Our cake is out of the oven and completely cooled, and now we are going to start making our Agar Jell-O mixture. To start, we're going to put our orange juice in our pot. Here I have Agar and the sugar that we're going to add. I'm going to combine these. Then that's going into our juice. You want to put the Agar and the sugar into your liquid while it is cool, and then heat it up to a boil. We're also going to add some orange extract. Turn our heat up here. While our Agar Jell-O mixture is getting ready to boil, I'm going to show you we're going to poke holes in our cake. With this, you really want to use a bigger fork, but if you just have a regular sized fork, that will work too. You want to go down in a pattern and put them about a 1/2 inch apart. That looks good. Now back to our Agar. We want this to come up to a full boil. What they say about a watched pot?
It slows down.
Never boils.
It sounds really close.
Alright, now that we've come to a full boil, we are going to reduce our heat to a simmer. Pick my pot up so I don't overflow it.
So watch your pot.
Oh, and I think again, yeah, I'm gonna lift that up just in case. You get the idea. Keep an eye on it, regulate your heat.
And now we want to simmer for
4 to 5 minutes.
Yep. Our time is up and our agar still looks the same, but that's how it is. Then we are going to spoon this over the top.
You are going to want to spoon this over the top and not pour it. You're going to want to take your time and let it soak into the cake and fill up all of those little holes that we poked in there with a fork. I would also recommend having your cake refrigerator cold when you do this.
You know, I would be tempted to just pour the whole thing.
I don't think you would get the same results.
You won't. It's a mistake. So if you're tempted, don't do it.
You would go way faster, but it would not be the same cake.
Be sure you get the edges like you are.
I try to go over the whole thing once and then work my way back over. Let's get this last little bit on here. Just pour that little bit on. Alright, now this needs to totally chill again. So we're going to put it back in the fridge.
Cake has been chilled. and I'm going to show you how to serve it. I'm going to cut a slice, and you know that first piece is always the tricky one to get out. You can see what it looks like, and you can use Ready Whip. You could make a buttercream icing, or you can also use So Delicious Cocoa Whip. I am going to use this, and what we do, we don't frost it ahead of time. We just put a dollop of the whipped cream and some oranges on top. And that's how we serve it. Okay, it's time for the taste test. We baked the cake in the morning, then we went out and had some fun and finished the cake tonight. So we're going to give it a try. So moist.
I love the little bit where the orange dips down in the cake and mixes with the
And if you were using real Jell-O, this orange would be way more pronounced, but we did not.
Or if you wanted to add some food coloring, which we decided not to.
Yes, I need another bite. How about you? You can see, just very nice, moist.
This is really good, I think, on a hot day. Or around Christmas time when citrus is, ready to go.
Popular. Come and join us next week, and we hope that you will subscribe and enjoy this recipe.